supper's waiting for you. Hey, my baby, don't you know our love is true?
Okay, there are certain ways that workaday Western Indians get their spice fix for the day. And one of them is by making a very simple Indian omelette. Because, let me grab the eggs. Should we make this into a 3-egg omelette? 3-egg omelette. Okay, there are certain ingredients that instantly turn a very Western dish into something quite Indian and quite exotic. So 3 eggs into a bowl like that. Do you know what? 4 eggs. 4 eggs, because I'm going to pile a lot of ingredients into this. Whisk those up very roughly, and into that go the core of an Indian kitchen, and that is a little bit, oops, of chopped red onion. Red onion is preferable to the white onions because they're sweeter, and so even if we don't have a lot of time to caramelise them and fry them through, they're not going to be as pungent and harsh on the mouth as their white counterparts. So a bit of red onion, a bit, believe it or not, of tomato. I always think a tomato omelette is just very wrong. There's just too much water going on there. I always think, you know, with an omelette you need drier ingredients, but this really works. In India, tomatoes play a huge role in many, many dishes. So I'll chuck a bit of onion into that. Tomato, green chilli. This is going to turn it very Indian. So I'm going to leave the seeds in because I want a little bit of heat. And we've got a lot of very cloying egg there. So this omelette can take it. A little bit of green chilli. And this is how we start. Hob on. Oil. A bit of oil in the pan. Just enough to fry the onions and caramelise them. A bit more. Do you know what I quite fancy as well, and what is a very legitimate ingredient, is a little bit of ginger. So either I could chop an inch of this off and peel it. Can I show you a really, really rude, cheeky shortcut? This is my freezer, look, over here. So, in here somewhere is crushed ginger cubes. And they are brilliant. You hear them? Oops. Crushed ginger cubes. And what they do is, it's basically ginger that has been pulped and it's simply frozen in kind of ice cube trays with all the natural water from the ginger. So there's no citric acid or vinegar in there to sully the flavours. It's very pure, so I think it's a perfectly legitimate shortcut. And if it gets you adding flavours into your food, then it's a great thing. I'm going to grab a spoon. So, onions and chilli go in. I'm going to throw my ginger in now because it'll just melt into the oil. It might complain a bit and splutter, but that's fine. You don't need to defrost them, just throw them into your food. I'm adding them to everything now. Okay, can you see that ginger is melting in? It's now time to throw in your tomatoes because you want the tomatoes to caramelise in that hot oil. Are you there? Because the tomatoes have within them natural sugars. And what we want to happen is we want the oil from the bottom of the pan to pass through those natural sugars and caramelise them as they pass through. And so you get this tangy, sweet base to anything that has got tomatoes properly fried into them. Now then, to our egg batter. All it is eggs mixed up. I'm going to throw a little bit of milk into that to pad it out and to lighten it a little bit. Into that, a little bit of salt. And now, one of the most beloved spices in the Indian kitchen, and that's ground coriander. Now what's great about ground coriander is it's almost herby rather than spicy. So it's a very good lunchtime herb. So this kind of omelette or cheese and toast done in the same kind of way with the same ingredients added in is very common at lunchtime in India or in the Indian kitchen because it's very light. It's not the kind of curry that's going to make you want to have a doze afterwards. So a bit of coriander powder, a good bit, into the mix. And then on with our heat. I'm really quite lazy, so it doesn't matter that it's not perfectly blended through, because it will mix in the pan. The other thing is, if you've got any fresh coriander, throw it in at this stage, so it cooks right the way through the omelette. If you haven't, please don't let that stop you Indian-fying your English staples. It's a great attempt at integration. Works brilliantly. Right. In with the oil, in with the egg, into the oil, and we do that omelette thing where you kind of poke it through and wait for the base to cook, and then what I'm going to do is for the last stages I am just going to put this under the grill. You hear my grill growling at me, I might as well throw it under now. So it's quite moist on the top, I'm going to put it in here and then just watch it do its magic. I love this bit.
With your guardian hands so blue. Hey, my baby, don't you know our love is true?